in a nutshell, I would say that you've got a load of good information, not necessarily in the best order to present it, and what's missing is interaction with your audience, and what's missing is the punk music and the great performances. They're not there. It's very dry, it's very you talking information, which you did very well in the most part. It wasn't reading from the screen, you know, you were trying to put it into your own words and get it across in a very natural way. That was great. But we didn't hear very much punk music, we didn't see very much punk music, and we didn't see a lot of examples of the fashion and all of that, which and it you know, I think you came under 20 minutes. It means you've got plenty of time to play music and play some performances and stuff like that to add to it. So first thing you could do, and the first thing I did when I did the blues presentation for you, was I asked the audience what they know about the blues.
Yeah, boy.
Open it up straight away, get people involved. People will say loads of stuff about punk. You don't know, it doesn't matter if they're saying stuff that you're going to mention, you know. It's just good to just hear people say what they know, get people involved. That creates a nice rapport as well with you. I mean, for me, when I do that, it means I get a gauge of who already knows what, and the kind of level that everybody's at already, so I know how to what I should or should not mention next. For when you start with the origins, I think it would be a good idea to be chronological and start with the kind of 1960s garage rock stuff. So you mentioned the Stooges. Let's see them. There's this great documentary called Motor City Burning, which is, have a look at that. That's all about Detroit and the 1960s, and it's all about all the music that came out of Detroit from the Stooges onwards, really. And as a kind of a opposition to Motown, which is the nice polished kind of soul music, it's the other side of the coin, if you like. I think that's the most popular band I can think of from before punk that you would call a punk band, with the way they acted and the way that their music was made, really raw sounding, really kind of anti-establishment and anti kind of polished kind of rock music that was out at the time. And so that's kind of would be one of the most influential bands before punk music, I would say. So play a bit of that. Let's hear a bit of them. But do that first. This is the stuff that came before punk. Don't read from the screen, Jess. Just know what you're going to say. Have a clear idea of what you're going to say and say it, you know. And then I would talk about the American beginnings, which you did talk about. Things like television, the New York Dolls, because Malcolm McLaren, who you mentioned later, he managed the New York Dolls in America, and he brought that idea back with him, and he managed the Sex Pistols over here. So he was trying to mirror what he'd already found growing in the United States over here. So even though John Lydon hates Malcolm McLaren, who's dead now, but and Malcolm McLaren is really annoying when you hear him speak in documentaries and stuff, and he makes out he invented everything when he didn't. But he did. He was quite influential at the time. I wasn't really sure what you were saying about Brazil and break dance when you were talking about punk.
Yeah, there was like a bit of information that I found that was like it was disputed about how punk originated. Like there's a group of people in Brazil that put together like break dance music or something, and like funk or something like that. I'll try and get the specific.
Because to me, break dance is something that happened after punk.
Yeah, it was like.
So
It was like it was break something, and
Yeah.
break dance is just what pops into my head.
Yeah,
Like, I've
okay,
got actually
okay.
read
I would just miss that bit out because it might confuse people. Because you do well when you go on to talk about world punk stuff later, you know. I think one thing that is a good term from that kind of era that I would use is do it yourself. They had this do it yourself attitude rather than rely on anything else.
Seems to have a bit of an issue. Is it possible to have a quick schedule check?
Yes.